So this idea of this 50th episode Zoom party kind of came from, I was giving Tom and I think Precious, I was offering an inside view of me recording my intro, except for the fact I didn't anticipate when I had people watching me do it, I couldn't get through it without laughing. And I discovered that Tom does a fairly halfway decent impersonation of me. For my opening, the way I say the name of the podcast, as you know, it's ADHD rewired. Okay, so what I want to actually do is have everyone give it their best go with the ADHD rewired. And you can even say episode number 50.
ADHD rewired
Episode number 50.
ADHD rewired episode number 50. Okay. When I look at my analytics on Audible, I see so many people that actually go to the link that I give out so they can get that free download. And I'm puzzled sometimes as why people don't actually make that click to download that first book.
because probably, I'm trying to remember, do you have to sign up for something? Do you think that they're thinking of those old, remember when you used to have those Columbia House
CDs, the
CDs that would
CDs,
come
and
to
then
your
they would
house
send
and
them
they wouldn't stop?
and then it'd be awful for us people with ADHD who would like intend on returning them, but we never did.
That's why I have to like self-ban from Redbox because I have to save so much in stupid Redbox movies. But yeah, I wonder if that could be part of a fear, because when people see that it's dead, what they tend to offer is the subscription where you get a certain number of tokens per month, which I don't do. I just buy like a big batch at once, like 24 at once. But I think that they start people off with the 1 or 2 or 3 per month. So I wonder if some people are thinking in terms of the Columbia House.
Yeah. I wonder if it's like, there's just so many choices that people don't know what to choose.
Do you recommend any?
I try.
How? How do you recommend them?
How do I recommend on the podcast?
Or do you have a list?
Well, I make.
So what if?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Jinx.
Jinx, buy me an Audible book.
What if you just do you have on your website like some of your favorite Audible books?
That's a really good idea.
Because they could even go there and listen to a snippet if you hyperlink it.
I like that idea. 50 episodes. When I first started ADHD Rewired, it felt like this huge climb just to get to 10. And then 25. And then 35. And then a few weeks ago, I wasn't sure if I was going to make it because I was struggling a little bit, and I shared that with you a few weeks ago. And here we are. Episode number 50. And this episode is all about you guys. This is the ADHD Rewired Zoom Party. So what you're about to hear is a different kind of episode. This is an episode where I think we may be making podcast history. To the best of my knowledge, this has never been done before. I invited the ADHD Rewired community, people who are in the Facebook community group, to join me for this recording of this 50th episode. We have, I think it was 17 people who joined us for this call, and this is what you are about to hear. So we have stories, we have some joking around. This is you guys. So thank you, everybody, for listening, for sticking with me, for sharing this podcast with others, for all the feedback, the suggestions. I am so humbled, because the other really awesome thing is, as of right now, a couple hundred downloads from 100,000 downloads. Blowing my mind. Probably by the time this episode comes out, episode 50, we're going to have hit 100,000 downloads. I am recording this part on February 5th. It comes out on the Monday after that. I'm not going to attempt to calculate that date because when I've done that in the past, I've been wrong. So without any further delay, here is episode number 50, the ADHD reWired community Zoom party. Here we go. So it's official. This is the largest Zoom room we've had thus far. I really regret not having like a celebratory drink right now.
Yes.
I thought it was a party.
Right?
So let's hey, why don't we start this? I'm going to ask everyone to go and do a 10 seconds each. Introduce yourself, say where you're from, and anything else you can fit in within 10 seconds.
How are we deciding who goes when?
We're going to go in order of astrological sign.
Do you just call a name and then we'll say our name?
I'll call you.
That's too easy.
I'm just going to count it in my head and then cut you off when you're done. Okay. So Oz is going to go first.
I was just here in Portland, Oregon, and I'm having some nice bullet bourbon. And I'm noticing this is the first time that my tattoo is showing, but I'm not going to say what it means. Anyway, so that's me.
Great intro. Thank you. All right. Ellen, do you want to give your intro?
Sure. I'm Alan Brown.
Wait, hold on, Alan. Alan, you just jumped around the line. I know Alan sounds like Ellen.
Oh, sorry.
But you just got to wait your turn.
Okay.
All right. So I'm actually going to go in order on the screen.
Okay.
So can you guys hear Ellen? Because I've muted her mic, but you should be able to hear it if you...
If you say anything, I can't hear it.
She's messing with all of you.
I'm trying to scare him.
Can you hear her?
Okay, great. My name is Ellen, not Alan. I have not been to the dentist. And I'm helping Eric. I'm his sidekick. I'm his gopher, his not maid. I do improv, and I want to do an improv podcast, and he is going to help me do that. Great. Next, Tom Nardone, 10 seconds, you're on.
Tom Nardone. I'm a blogger and a writer.
Can't hear you.
Well, my time's up. Time's up.
All right. Carly, you're next.
Hi, I'm Carly Knight. I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And, yeah.
Awesome. Jeff, you are muted at the moment, so why don't you go ahead and unmute you. Jeff?
Hello, my name is Jeff Ashford. I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am a systems engineer, ironically, by day, a commercial hot air balloon pilot.
You were cutting out, and your audio just so I got that you're a systems engineer and you do something with hot air balloons. That's awesome. Jen, you're next.
Okay, so I'm Jennifer Ratliff. I'm originally from Kentucky, but I go to school in Nashville, so my heart's split.
With time to spare. All right. Doug, you are up.
I'm Doug Harris. I'm from Saline, Michigan, outside of Ann Arbor, and I'm hearing beeping in my headphones, so I forgot to charge them today. So I have to find new headphones, so that's why I'm rushing around.
Time's up. That was nothing really about you except for the name. That was more about your headphones. But, that's great. That's great. Precious, you're up.
Hi. My name is Precious Mackey, and I'm originally from Florida. And
Wait, hold on a second. Where's that beeping from? Is that you?
Me?
Diane, you're up.
Hey, I'm Diane Cherowitz. I'm from Woodstock, Illinois. And I have a monkey named Roberto, who's green.
Awesome. Ryan.
My name is Ryan McRae. I'm from Orland Park, Illinois. I write on ADD and presenting, and I work for an undisclosed company.
It is a fruit company, and it tastes good in pies. Sorry. Who's next? Teresa.
Hi. I can't actually read that, but whatever you're showing on your phone.
And okay. Thank you very much, Teresa.
Sorry. Stop it. I'm Teresa. I have a PhD in neuroscience. ADHD is not my specialty, but I was diagnosed with it a few years ago.
So you are your own expert.
Sure.
Okay. Daniel, you are up.
Oh, I'm Daniel Bowling. I live in Cincinnati, moving to Columbia, South Carolina. Podcaster, blogger in progress.
All right. Jenny.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm from Long Island, New York.
Sweet. Didn't we do you? You're up again. What's going on? All right, Carolyn.
Hi, I'm Carolyn. I'm from Rome, New York. I'm an ADHD coach, and that's it.
Where would there be any reason why people would know your voice?
Well, if they listen to your show, then they would know that I'm the master of the audible domain.
She's my audible storyteller.
Oh, you're the one. I love that.
Getting a lot of great feedback about that, Carolyn, so I appreciate everything you've done. And Alan Brown, the ADD Crusher. What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm Alan Brown. I'm here in from New Jersey, but I'm here in San Diego. And yeah, I'm the ADD Crusher guy, and I'm a big fan of Eric Tivers, too.
I'm a big fan of yours. You know, Alan, I got to tell you, you turned me on to that, the Brendan Bouchard one-page productivity sheet, and I've formatted my whole productivity system around that. So thank you for turning me on to that. That was awesome.
Love it.
If you could drop that link in the chat, that'd be a big help.
If you go to erictivers.com/25. See, I would get bored of that. So I have mine actually in a book. So every couple of weeks it sort of changes format. You know, sometimes I draw pictures, but it's all the same kind of general. But I have this whole system. I also combine a bullet kind of concept where I create an index in the front. So if in between each page, if I want to draw a picture of your mom, and I really like that.
Who's mom?
No, it's a compliment. And I can put in my index picture of Alan's mom, or anybody else's mom, and I can easily find that by taking a picture on Evernote, and then I can search Evernote.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Okay. So I've insulted at least half of the people's moms in this group right now.
So we're going to ask for strategy stories and best impersonations.
So yes. So, man, I got to have you here for everything, Ellen, because I created this list and it's like, what time are we on? And so I shared it with Ellen, the things that I want to be able to talk about here for this episode. First of all, thank you everyone. This is awesome that you guys are all here. This is so cool. And more than half of you, I think, have been, past guests on the podcast. So thank you, all of you guys, for, if it weren't for you guys, the show wouldn't be going on. So I appreciate all of you who have shared your stories. It's just been awesome. Okay. So we have, let's start with a great story. We like stories on ADHD rewired. So I want to hear a funny story. So this is not now. Let me kind of specify what I mean by story. So I'm not talking about novel. I'm not talking about, keynote presentation. I'm talking like a funny moment. I left my keys in the car. That's where I want the keys. I left my, so I was looking at what she wrote. She asked me how long, and my brain couldn't do both at the same time. Sorry. So no, it's fine. So now, what was I saying? Because I have no idea.
You were saying something like you lost your keys in the car, but...
So during the stories, I want everyone except for who was talking to mute themselves. So here's the story. We'll go about 30 seconds, minute tops. We're going to cut off at a minute. Okay. I want to hear a funny kind of ADHD story, something that, the keys you left in the fridge or something like that. But, we've all done that, right? Right? Please tell me that I'm not the only one that's done that.
Keys in the fridge?
Yeah.
Come here.
I've not done that, but I've lost many sets of keys.
Okay. So you lost them somewhere. I want to hear your funny stories. So you're a funny ADHD mom.
I'm happy to go first.
Okay, since Doug jumped in. So here's what I'm going to do, actually, real quick. I have a button that says Manage Participants. I'm about to manage all of you. I'm going to mute all, and then I'm going to unmute Doug here. Okay, so you are all muted for right now. Doug, you're up. Give me your
okay.
You have a timer?
I was at the ADA conference this last summer, and we had a gathering at a bar on a Saturday night. And I was talking with some people, as a group of like 3 or 4 people, and my filters were totally off. And I was talking, and I was totally aware that I was going totally astray, just hoping that my stream of thought would come back, and it never came back. And eventually the people I was with were just staring at me agog, with their jaws dropped, and I said, "This did not work, did it?" And we all laughed, and I was okay with it because I was like my tribe. But it was so funny that I was like totally lost, and it was all good.
Awesome.
Okay. I'll go.
I think Oz said so. I'm gonna just, you know what? I'm not going to manage all of you. I need you guys to do some self-management. So we know that executive functioning is part of self-management. So I'm asking you guys to self-manage because I just can't do it right now. There's too many of you. All right, so please mute yourself.
And if a person doesn't want to go, then they just not raise their hand. You don't put them on the spot by pointing at them and then anyway. Okay, so I was really interested in this woman. And I figure, okay, here's my opportunity to get to know her a little bit, show her, just what a great a guy I am. Like 8 of us were going to go see Avatar on opening night. And I know what happens with me in movies, but I figure I got to go impress this woman. And, about a half hour in, I was dead asleep. And after this 3-hour movie, all the talk was about how Oz went to sleep and started snoring.
That's awesome. All right. Who wants to go next? Thanks, Oz. Carly. All right. Unmute yourself, Carly. Oz.
Also, I don't know how funny the story is.
Okay. Let me get the timer going. We're all under the time. This is awesome. I'm so proud of you guys. Really. You must have been listening to some pretty good ADHD podcasts if you're really focusing on this stuff. Go.
Oh, okay, so I went to this job interview in Gurnee. I live in Milwaukee, so I went to the job interview for a job that was in Milwaukee, but anyway, that's not important. Anyway, I told the interviewer that I had ADHD while I was interviewing him, and he said it didn't exist, so I didn't get the job.
Well, if it doesn't exist, why did you not get the job? I mean, if it's like, well, it's not a real thing.
I thought I had a good lock on the job, but it was.
What was the job for?
Board game VR stores.
What was it?
It's a board game store.
Okay.
A clerk at a board game store. I would have liked that job.
Would he be too bored? I don't. Sorry. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Carly. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Who said that?
Carolyn.
Where are you? Wave your hand so I can see who's talking. There you go. All right, Carolyn.
Okay. So I often have these visions in my head where I can create these wonderful things. Okay. So my sons both wanted to be Pokemon for Halloween, except my older son is bigger than the child's costumes. So I said, all right, who do you want to be? I'll make it, but I don't know how to sew. So I'm gluing this thing, taping it right down to the very end. It came out awesome until I stepped on the tape, sliced my big toe. I had to glue so much on the inside. He puts his head on. He's walking around getting candy, and he's high from the fumes from all the glue I put on. And his head was like 20 pounds of foam. He's like, I can't wear this, Mom. So I had to wear the head and stand close to him like a off-sided headed Pokemon.
That's awesome.
That's an awesome story.
I'm going to send that picture up to the group because
please do.
The costume turned out great considering it was all in my head.
Okay. So I want to make sure that everyone knows where like their mute button is, because right at the end of the story, if you want to kind of just jump in and make a quick comment about that, let us hear the laughter, because we could all see the laughter, but people who are listening to this next week aren't going to know how funny that was. It's like the actual laugh track, but it's muted. It's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens if you?
Maybe we should all unmute ourselves and just be quiet while they're talking. If that's possible.
But we can't.
This pantomime laugh track.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We got to be able to be still and quiet, and this is an ADHD group.
I dare you.
Yeah, but I mean, that could have gone on a whole other
we just
level.
got dared.
We always have to repress ourselves and mute ourselves in, the neurotypical world.
Okay.
Try it for one story. I dare you. One story. Everyone unmute. See what happens.
All right, I think we can do it. Everyone unmute yourself. And be super quiet.
Still got to be muted.
Ryan,
Who's going next?
Ryan, you're still muted. Maybe he doesn't trust himself. Yeah. As he shakes his head.
He's being considerate.
Oh, his neighbors are playing loud music, so he's like,
okay. Do you know where the circuit breaker is?
He probably trusts himself. It's just that the idiots around him can't be considerate.
That's his life.
Well, they didn't get invited to the party, so this is why they're blasting their music. It's because they're kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They're I don't know.
I don't know. What are you talking about, Eric?
I don't know. So I was hoping one of you guys would help me with.
I think Tom wants to go now.
I just open my mouth and I just I'm as surprised as half of you guys are whenever comes out of it.
All right, Tom wants to go.
Tom, all right, so we're all going to be real quiet. Okay. Tom, you're up. Not hearing you.
I think his days of being a podcaster are over if he's on a microphone.
I can't believe we can't hear Tom.
This is the first time Tom's ever sang.
I hear you. I heard him.
Okay. Well, I fixed my mic because I was recording Eric's show for him. But anyway, sorry, I got very technical over here. But I was in the Navy, and my first day on the boat, they asked me to paint it because we were going to sea the next day. And
sounds like a waterfall.
We went 20 seconds.
Okay, we can't manage ourselves, Eric. So
Yeah, Doug just muted himself, and I don't hear it anymore.
Does that mean Doug?
That's not proof of anything.
You can't prove it.
Okay, I undare you.
All right. Yeah. Ellen's taking back the dare.
Yep.
Okay. We've proven ourselves that we can't do it. It's okay.
It's not you. It's some weird background.
I don't know, but Alan got up. I think his headphones maybe slid down. I think that's maybe what we were hearing.
No, I think it was Doug. He muted himself, and it's gone away now.
But at the same time,
I've been framed.
Anyway,
in a 2x3 box, in
I
fact.
want to hear the rest of the story.
Okay.
I'll mute myself.
One more chance. We can do
All right,
it.
let's try this again. Tom, you were in the Navy.
Okay, I was in the Navy. I was on a submarine. When I got to the boat, the person in charge of deck division told me that I needed to paint the boat because we were going to sea the next day. And he says, "You know what to do, right?" And he was in a hurry to get out of here, and I just thought he'd get mad if I said no, so I told him I did. He says, "Okay, great, the paint's on the pier," and he left. So I spent the whole night painting the boat, and it was black just like it's supposed to be when we got finished with it. And he was real proud of me, and I felt really great about it. And we went to sea, and then halfway through our 6-day run, they said that the head of the Pacific Fleet was going to catch our boat and ride our boat to see how we were operating it. When we surfaced, the boat was green because that's the color primer that we use on a submarine. The boat was green. I mean, it was green. And because apparently there was a 2-part primer, it was an epoxy, a rubber-based epoxy that you're supposed to mix together, and then you use that to paint the boat. I just took component A and painted the whole submarine with it, and it, of course, washed off. And when the admiral, the 4-star admiral came on the boat, he got black, splotches of black paint all over his whites, as did the captain. And I was actually feeling pretty good.
Tom,
I cried.
I salute you.
I cried. I did. There. It's out there. I said it.
It's like running over a turtle.
Yep.
All right. Does anyone have anything that can compare to the amount of tax dollars that cost for a mistake?
I don't know. I could tell that story I shared with you and Tom that other day about the forms I had to fill out. I mean, it's another music story. Go figure. But no, for our judging at the end of the semester, we have to fill out these forms so that the judges have the papers and the information that we're going to do. And I had not saved the file properly, so the morning of my performance, I'm rushing around. Of course, I'm late, and I rush and fill out the papers really super fast, and I missed some of the pieces and trying to put it all together. After everything's all said and done, I get my papers and reading the comments and everything, and I see question marks, and I typed out on every single paper and printed it several times. Piano was spelled Paino. And I had looked and proofread and stared at this for so many times. And so instead of piano, I was playing Paino.
Precious, I have a sort of a similar story in college. I was writing a paper in a social policy class about how judges should recuse themselves. I thought the word is rescue. Whoops. So there's that. Anyone else have how many times do we have that like experience where we're like way older than we wish we were when we realize that we've been using a word for our entire lives?
Yeah.
If anyone has not had that experience, I don't believe you.
I have not.
I have.
I was gonna say, I don't think Carolyn has.
Hey! I'm obsessed
It's probably because
with
of all the
words.
Audible she listens to.
Yeah.
And if you want to have spelling like Carolyn, go to audibletrial.com/ADHD rewired for your free audiobook download.
How does listening to a book give you good
Come on,
spelling?
just go work with it, please.
That's the neuroscience.
I wish I could take advantage of the audio trial. I already took advantage of it from somebody else.
Get a new email account. I mean,
Jenny's raising her hand.
Jenny.
Maybe she has a story.
She's such a light.
I know, that's great.
Okay, because I'm writing a book, and since Carolyn's my friend, she agreed to look at it with her editing expertise because she knows all words and everything. So she spends 8 hours on this thing, and we talked about it a couple times, and just today, it turns out I sent her the wrong book.
Are you writing multiple books?
Wait,
Yeah.
and she was like working on it today?
She edited the wrong book.
That's
For
great.
8 hours.
For 8 hours?
8 hours.
Oh, dear.
And we talked about it. I feel horrible.
Carolyn's not laughing.
Can't you just work on that book now?
I've already been giving this one away.
That is, what book was it?
It's the one I'm giving away.
Well,
I'm giving it away to anyone who wants it.
Now it's edited.
now it's, yeah.
So now I have to, exactly.
Does she like send you some stuff back? Like, you have a lot of work before anyone sees this.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
She's like, it is all red. It is all red. And I'm like, oh, that's good because about 100 people already have.
I can't, if you go and look through my show notes, like that are released for the podcast, you'll probably find typos in every single one. It's, go look. I've been thinking about for a long time, posting on every page on my website, just an open source editing. So catch the typo and enter a contest. I mean, it's because I just don't see them. It's like I can look through them. I have a rule for myself that before I send out anything through my email marketing program, that my wife has to look at it. Every single time without fail, where I don't have the patience to do it, and I'm really careful about editing it, and I feel really proud. Okay, this is for sure. There's no typos in there. Typos.
Eric?
Yes?
The invitation to the Google Meetup said, and I sent it to Jenny. I'm like, do you see it? And she's like, no. I'm like, it says that we have to be in a quiet setting, not a quiet setting.
Yes, I caught that.
This is a quiet setting.
That's quite a setting.
It is. You actually read through all the words? I'm looking at the email right now.
You spelled quite correctly.
It's okay. Tom.
Yes.
Tom spelled his own name wrong the other day to me.
Okay.
And wait a minute. He's like, doesn't everybody spell their own name wrong? I said, no. And I said, but yours only has 3 letters.
Okay. Any of you people that know me understand that I am beyond embarrassment. It's just something I don't generally ever feel. So if I had legitimately spelled my name wrong because I'm unable to spell it or think it's spelled that way, then that'd be one thing. But when I'm at work walking down and someone's bugging me because they're trying to figure out how to design the world's cheapest bathroom remodel, and I'm trying to type while I'm listening to them, forgive me if I hit the wrong button. That's a typo. I mean, that was a fine attempt, Carolyn, but no, you don't get that one. I would give it to you if I did. 3 letters.
Spelled it rim.
Spell checker. What can I tell you? I blame spell checker.
All right.
Rimnardo.
But I will tell you, Yvonne spoke in front of 100 people.
Don't make me mute all of you.
I don't know how many times she meant to say, it's a moot point, and she kept saying mute point.
I mean, I love just good audio content, and I think that, I feel grateful that I have Audible as a sponsor. One, I just think it's interesting, just the whole idea of storytelling through as a form of marketing. And that's...
Yes, in fact, there's one good book called Lead with a Story. Have you listened to that one?
No.
It's in my collection.
Now, Kelly, you're not behind on podcast episodes because you're listening to Audible, are you?
Probably.
Oh, that's now.
I have a large podcast reservoir too.
Okay, I'm not sure how I feel about this now.
So I've got a list of, I've got, all my podcasts that I like to follow.
What's your favorite?
As well.
Obviously besides mine, but,
Well, obviously it's your ADHD rewired.
Mm-hmm.
I like Ari Tuckman's.
Yes, Ari's is great. I like Ari.
What I like about the way you do yours is that you have a good length of time. There's a number of people who don't have it long enough for me.
Yeah. And it's funny because, in the very beginning, I was trying to stick around like the 30-ish minute mark, and then I just kept pushing over that. And then, now I'm just like, it's over when it's over. Like I shoot for like 45 minutes. It usually goes about an hour. You can pause it. You can rewind it. It's like, sorry if it's, I don't know. Some of my favorite podcasts are also an hour. Actually, one of my favorites is sometimes 3 hours. Here we go. We're gonna refocus here. What's my next agenda item?
Strategies or apps.
Strategies or apps. All right. Favorite strategies or apps. So I don't know if you guys have seen the. Can you grab the magazine? So Attitude magazine. I don't know if you guys have seen it. This one.
You told us.
So the front one there is an article that I wrote, and then there's another person that wrote the second article, because I wrote 30 of them, and then plus 17 is 47.
What was her name again?
What was her name? I don't know.
What difference does it make?
The co-author, or not the co-author, the other author. It's a girl. That's what I remember.
That other person.
Names are hard.
Beth.
Beth. I had the right amount of letters and the first letter of the name. I thought it was Bar was Beth. Not bad, not bad. That part of my brain isn't completely broken.
Nope. All right.
Okay.
Strategies and apps.
Who has a favorite app? Let's start with apps. We'll go real quick. If you have a favorite app or a most used app, just quickly share what it is. Tom, do you have a favorite app?
Sorry.
Messenger.
Okay.
The sleep Android sleep thing?
Sleep Cycle?
No. Wait, I have it. It's the Sleep One, not Cycle, but Android Sleep. Sleep
Okay.
Android.
Okay, someone's getting noisy.
Ryan is biased
Someone's getting
again.
noisy. Carly, do you have an app?
Yeah, I've got tons of apps. Dispatch, I love that one for my mail.
Okay.
What does it do?
What does it do?
It's a mailbox app, but it just works with GTD.
Wait, time out for 1 second, Carly. I think that your furry animal there is rubbing on your microphone.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's a mailbox app that works with GTD.
What's GTD?
Getting things done.
Yep, I need that kind of thing because I'm so disorganized.
Jen, you're distracting me right now.
What are you doing?
She was her some kind of animal of some variety.
I know, I can see that.
It's not a monkey.
Penguin smarty pants.
This is monkeys only, just so you guys know. All right, Jeff, do you have one?
I do. I'm learning to use several, but Trello and Google Reminders are my favorite right now.
Trello and Google Reminders. What do you do with Trello? And can you talk a little louder, maybe?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure. So with Trello, I use it in the kind of a pseudo GPT system, and I create boards with all my lists on there and projects. Then I'll archive to OneNote.
You'll archive it to OneNote. Okay. So Trello to OneNote. Cool. Jen,
Yes.
favorite app?
Facebook.
Okay. Doug.
Especially because of coaching group.
It's a good app.
Eye Defender. It's designed to prevent eye fatigue, but I like it because every 15 seconds it cuts my screen out and pops up a screensaver, so I cannot ignore the fact that I'm spending way too much time on things I shouldn't be spending. I can't block it out like I could with audio thing.
What is it called?
Eye Defender.
Is that I or
EYE Defender.
Cool. All right. Precious.
It'll pop up like 12 times during playing Flash games. It's amazing.
Cool.
And sad.
Precious. Favorite app?
I liked the Sleep Android app.
Oh yeah, I think we.
And I like
sounds
Twilight
familiar.
too, but yeah, you asked me.
I did. Yeah, Diane.
I use Songza a lot just to get me motivated.
Songzilla.
Songza.
Songzilla. I have the Illa. That'd be a cool app. We got to create Songzilla. That's an awesome app.
That is actually my nickname around the house is Momzilla. So MZ for short. I answer to MZ. Yeah. And then I use Evernote a lot as well.
Cool. Ryan, you're up. He's using Sign on an audio podcast.
I'm an Evernote fanatic, and that's what I talked about on Eric's show. I use it to just do a lot of content managing and just storing information. If I even think I might lose it, I just take a picture of it and store it. One of my colleagues came up to me and said, "Hey, you showed me an article 7 months ago on journaling. Any chance you know what it is?" I'm like, "Nope." But I just was like, "Is this it?" Yeah. Okay. Share.
Cool.
Done. But there's wonderful hacks you can use to really.
Hey, Ryan, you were I think I was talking to you. You were telling me about a desktop app for Apple that cleans up like unused icons.
It's called Hazel. So it's like it has like a little dust broom as its symbol. But you can set up rules that say, hey, if I haven't opened a document in 6 months, move it to this folder. If I download photos, put them in my iPhoto or my pictures. So it manages. It becomes a little housekeeper for your Mac to move files. you have to get some practice with it because it'll commit once you set up the rule. So you don't want to say move every file I haven't touched in 6 months, because then things that belong other places just go. But just as long as you take your time, one rule a week, it will manage it for you. So when I back up my my computer, I have a file that says move to hard drive. I just move everything there because I haven't opened that document or picture in 6 months.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's kind of like an IFT for your desktop?
Yeah.
IFTTT?
It's like an IFT for your desktop.
Okay. IfThisThenThat.com or IFTTT.com. Teresa, you are up. Favorite app?
I was trying to think. I actually like that app that I think I shared on the page before, but I can't remember the name of it now. But it had the like shows your today's schedule is like a circle, like the clock face, and it also integrates reminders, and you can use it for goals too. Although I use it used to be called Lyft or something like that, but now it's called Coach.me. Yeah. I like that one too.
Coach.me.
Mm-hmm.
I keep going back to it, but I don't really dig into it too much. So it looks cool, but then I don't know. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's not all that gripping. I've kind of come and gone from it a couple of times, but it's been really good.
That was a great recommendation, Teresa. Daniel, favorite app?
Yeah, I'm really just now getting into Evernote, so I'm going to have to go back and listen to Ryan's episode again. But couple that with Dropbox for a lot of file storage, and then, of course, audiobooks.
Okay, so Audible?
I was just trying to audiobooks, but I guess you should say Audible is what I should do.
Is there any other?
Episode 46.
Episode 46 is, why am I saying this?
So if someone wants to learn about Evernote,
the
to episode 46.
No, that's not. That's episode 45 is the one with Evernote.
Oh, okay. So episode 45, if we want to learn, because Evernote keeps coming up and I want to learn more about it. So if I go listen to episode 45, I will learn more about it.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. All right. Jenny, favorite app?
No apps.
No apps. Ellen.
Songza is my favorite, and Audible.
Songza and Audible. Awesome. Carolyn, favorite app?
Well, I like Audible, of course, when I use the most, but there's another one that nobody's mentioned yet that I use a lot. It's called Wheel of What.
What's that?
Wheel of What?
Okay, so picture like a Wheel of Fortune wheel, and you get to label the different categories. And it's just because sometimes I have indecision over stupid things, and it could be like, do I want to go to Subway, Burger King, Pizza Hut? So I'll label each one, then we'll spin the wheel, and there's our decision.
Awesome.
Like I've got
awesome.
different rooms of the house.
I need that for
one to start. It's just easier.
That's so cool. There's
and you know what? The kids don't fight with that either.
What's that?
The kids don't fight. It's like, let's leave it up to the wheel. Okay.
Awesome. No, that's so cool. That's so cool. There's another app, and I don't remember if I mentioned it on an earlier episode, for helping when you're feeling stuck, called Unstuck. It's got a really cool interface. And you can go to the website. I think it's unstuck.com. The iPad app is great.
This one too.
3030 was, when that, Ellen was just reminding me that I showed her. And I did, I think, talk about that in a prior episode way back when this show was just a wee little podcast that was trying to do something.
I thought of other apps.
What's that?
I thought of another app as I'm just getting into is Habit RPG.
Habit RPG. I've heard of that, and I tried it, and I didn't get it.
It's like an RPG with habits.
Okay. Very cool. Alan Brown,
Yeah, I
you're
tried
up.
it too.
RGP, is that for rocket propelled grenade? That's a pretty cool app.
Role-playing game.
This is my favorite app. Well, you can't see it for squat. It's called the 7-minute workout. And here's why this is really cool. The three biggest, first of all, we all know the research is very complete on this. We know that exercise helps with our ADHD.
Yes.
Fires up our brain, increases focus, all this good stuff. But there are 3 key reasons we don't work out as much as we could or at all. 1, we don't have time. 2, can't get to the gym or don't have a membership. 3, even at home, I don't have the equipment. This is a workout that takes 7 minutes to do and requires 0 equipment.
Cool.
And what it is 12 high-intensity body weight exercises. You do 30 seconds per exercise with 10-second rest between them. And when you're done in 7 minutes, you've worked up a sweat and you feel fantastic. And it just dissolves all the excuses for not working out.
And Alan, while you're saying that, Teresa was taking her sweatshirt off, so she's getting ready to do this right now.
No, that's actually
awesome.
my excuse is the sweat part. I can't make myself change clothes to get into workout clothes and then change clothes after. That's why I never work out.
Well, I don't know if there's an app for that. I don't know if there's an app for that, but I hope there is, because that's a tough predicament.
What's it called again?
It's called the 7-minute workout.
Cool.
It's free. It's brilliant.
All right. Oz, I thought you were on the top before. What happened?
Well, I will tell you, this is my app. Notebook and a mechanical pencil. Because right now with apps, what I start thinking about is configuration and updates and all kind of crazy stuff that I don't want to have to deal with, because already with certain apps, in this beta test world, right, where things are always changing, I'm tired of it. With Chrome just changed their bookmark layout. Now I'm dealing with that. I don't want to deal with some app that's decided they want to change their look and change their submenus. No, I deal with this.
And Oz, you're like an Excel wizard. So think about this for a moment. I think I've downloaded like every productivity app there is. Oz gets pretty deep into some different areas of technology, and we both use a paper notebook. There's something to that.
I use one too.
Kind of zen.
Yeah, you don't have to remember to charge it. It's another positive feature.
And if the internet goes down, it's not disconnected while you're on the phone screaming at Comcast.
All right. We're going to go 5 strategies. So not everyone's going to get a chance to do this, but if you have a killer strategy that you just think people have to know about, I want you're going to have a minute to share your killer strategy.
I'll offer 2.
Oh, wow. Taking 2 of the 5 right off the bat, huh?
There's a lot of moving around.
Yeah, who's moving?
Let's blame Doug, what we always do.
One has been just communicate, because I can think about the perfect thing to say in an email or whatever, when more important is to realize just communicate. Be responsible for what I say, send it, and let the other person respond. And the second thing is, for about the past year and a half, I've been going to sleep with ASMR videos. But you gotta check them out.
What does that stand for? It's auto sensory something or another.
Meridian response, something like that. But there's a lot of like scratching and whispering and tapping on stuff that just it focus my mind on one thing when I'm wanting to go to bed, so that I'm not laying there thinking about all kind of stuff. I'm like maybe a role play video of, oh, glad to see you. You're here for your shave. Oh.
That's a different kind of video.
And then, no, it's not. No, it's not. Stop being nasty.
There was a whole episode on This American Life about it. It was actually fantastic.
Yes, it is.
And actually, I recently discovered a podcast that I've been listening to. It's a sleep. Oh man, I have to.
Yeah,
look
binaural beats.
No, it's not that. The whole notion of this podcast is that it's boring. Like that's this whole like description. It's like it's interesting enough. But he goes on. He's like a brilliant tangent creator. Like it's great. You know what? I'm gonna have to. It's worth me killing my mic cam video feed just to tell you the name of this podcast because it's. All right, let's see here. Hang on.
Let's talk amongst ourselves.
Please do. I got it. It's called Sleep With Me, and don't get nasty. It's a sleep-inducing podcast.
Nice.
So Sleep With Me, it's great. It's I've started listening to it this past week, and I have been enjoying it. I fall asleep to it.
How do you know he's not, digging into your subconscious after what he's saying?
I don't care. Okay, next. Great strategy.
I got a bullet journal.
Ooh.
Yeah. I love the bullet journal. The guy who developed it has ADHD, so if you go to bulletjournal.com, you can learn more about it.
Great. Thank you for that, Carly. Diane.
Something I've developed just around the house to keep things under control is I do these 5-minute flash cleanings. So I set my timer for 5 minutes, and I just go like from room to room to room, and I just focus on like blasting through, picking stuff up, and not. It doesn't give me time to think about it or like dwell on what to do with anything or, no memories or anything. It's just like, just pick stuff up and just put it away. And the timer goes off, then I just like run to the other room. And if I can do 3 or 4 of them, and I'm really working on doing it more consistently every day, but it makes a really big difference, like keeping the chaos in the house under control.
Okay, so Diane, in spirit of that, here's what we're going to do. Now, this is going to be crappy for audio, but we're going to take 30 seconds and we're going to all put something away. You ready?
Oh, gosh.
On your marks, get set.
I'm going to need more than 30 seconds to get up.
How do I know when the time's up? Did it start?
I guess so. Go.
Okay.
I put something in my pocket that needs to go home. Okay.
Precious.
It's going to take us 30 seconds to decide on what we're actually going to put away. All right, there's 5 seconds left.
That's a bunch of idiots.
I put away my dreams and hopes.
All right, guys, that was awesome. And Daniel just put away number 6.
I was going to say, put away some beer.
Yeah, I just said he just put one away.
But Tom, what did you put away?
I had this microphone stand on my desk. I just tossed it into my closet.
Boom.
Anyone else have an awesome strategy they want to share?
I'm sure I do. I just can't think of it.
There's an app for that. What happened?
Oh,
Ryan's
Ryan
gonna
has his hand
pantomime
up.
something.
Ryan.
I guess my strategy that I've been using is just like calling a mulligan when I really just screw it up. And I just like say to myself, like, hey, we're going to start over. We're doing a mulligan and just like starting the new day. Because for me, like when I forget something or I, mess it up, I tend to get down on myself. And then like the chorus of like evil urchins are in my head. Like, you're the worst. So I just am like, all right, mulligan, like we're going to start over. And, I just kind of blank slate it. So
that's
awesome.
good, Ryan.
That's
a
good.
lot of times I ask my wife for a do-over.
Right.
I'll say, look, I want a do-over. And she'll give it to me. So there you go.
That's great.
Good.
That's great.
Bless you.
Ask for the do-over. Always ask for the do-over.
Okay. So
Yes, nicely, though.
this is the ADHD rewired monkey. Most of you know. I know that Dan is the unofficial president of the fan club. It's true. So he needs a name because he's tired of being called the ADHD rewired monkey. It's true. I'm really tired of it. So I want to open some nominations for some names.
I have a monkey named Giuseppe.
What is it?
Giuseppe the happy monkey.
I'll never be able to spell that now.
Okay, if it has to be spellable, then we're talking
At least
about
relatively.
What about,
I mean, it could be a little bit longer than Tom.
Armadeus.
Name him Philip. Just name him Philip.
Ryan says
Hi, Philip.
I don't know.
How about rewind?
what about bananas? Because Gwen Stefani taught me how to spell that. Thank you.
Bananas.
Someone else got that.
I like bananas.
Bananas.
I asked my son, and he said Dexter or JoJo.
Oh,
Bananas.
JoJo's good.
It's
JoJo.
bananas. B
Bananas.
I like Eric for the name.
Yeah.
Eric
With a
Jr.
K.
And no E.
Ick?
Ick?
U-R-E-K.
U-R-E-K.
Close enough.
Eric.
I thought of Baxter. Baxter the monkey, or Bam Bam.
Oh, I like Bam Bam.
I think it's taken.
Bam Bam, because I actually know somebody who has a monkey, and his real live monkey is named Bam Bam.
You're disqualified then.
Yeah.
No real life experience plays.
My monkey might have a question. Where does Bam Bam live? I'm kind of lonely. He wants a friend. Is that possible?
Maybe. I'll have to bring Roberto to the next Chad meeting.
He likes that idea.
Okay.
So
I
your
don't.
top contenders: JoJo, Dexter, Bananas, Irk, Baxter, and Bam Bam.
You just gave me way too long of a list to be able to retell that. Give me like 2, and then I'll go from there. Top 2? What were the first 2?
Top 2? Oh, I thought.
Just in like sequential order, not like by. Give me the list. She gave me a list of like 6 things, and she thought I would remember it.
I thought they could hear me. So.
Where's
Right there.
okay? We have JoJo. Wow, your writing might be worse than mine. But not the whole time. Sometimes it's not. Ellen, are you sure you don't have ADHD?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Now I'm just like scanning the page, not for what I'm supposed to be doing. We have Dep TV. What?
There's Bam Bam.
Okay.
JoJo,
Dexter.
Baxter, Bananas.
Dr. Bananas? Did someone say that? Or did I
No,
just
just
hear that?
Bananas.
I like Dr. Bananas. Though.
I like Dr. Bananas, though. That's actually kind of cool.
I like Scatterbrain. The good intention monkey.
The good intention monkey.
I wish we could name the monkey Squirrel, but
That
that
could
would
be Kim's
give
next
a
book.
crisis.
The good intention
The
monkey.
good intention. Is there anything we can do with that? The good intention monkey.
Well, there was George. The
Yeah, I was
curious
thinking
monkey.
of George. Yeah.
Or was Rocky the squirrel?
Yes, Rocky's the squirrel. Bullwinkle's the moose.
Are there any television characters who are ADHD-like?
Are there any?
Oh! There's Scrat, and then there's the Hammy, the squirrel on Over the Hedge. No, I know.
No, I know your story. Over the hedge. I know.
Story, yeah.
I think that this isn't going to be resolved tonight.
You can do a poll.
No,
On the
Maybe do a survey in the group.
that's brilliant.
website. A poll.
A
My best
contest.
thoughts aren't going to come out now. They're going to come out later.
EricTivers.com/monkey name. Make it happen.
Make it on Survey Monkey.
Survey.
That has to be. That's good. That's good.
Boom. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. We've got our list. Somebody said a name, but
I'm
I
gonna look at my
missed right at
thesaurus.
the end there.
If you had a name, if you can add it to the chat
Carly, I think.
bar that's at the bottom of the screen, because then I can take a look at those and we'll send out. And what I'm going to do, we're going to launch a contest with this probably the next week or so. And I'm going to, what's going to be the winner of whoever wins is going to get a surprise package. I'm not even going to tell you what's going to be in it. It's going to be a complete surprise.
A good surprise?
Maybe. You have to hit record on your phone though to take a video so we can catch your face while you open it. Okay. Okay. Ooh, almost forgot a very important part of this. So I know that some of you are familiar with the concept of the mastermind group, where it's a group of people who are basically helping a single person who is in what's called the hot seat. And so this is a often used in kind of entrepreneurship circles. We do a hot seat, a mastermind group in our coaching group. But today, right now, what I want to do is I'm going to put myself in the hot seat. And so I want to get some feedback from you guys. What would make ADHD rewired. Better, unique, different, something that can improve the show. Is there something that I used to do that you want me to bring back? So I'm going to put myself in the hot seat and I'm going to hear your suggestions, and I'm opening the door to any kind of constructive feedback. Okay. So, if you just say that you suck, I'm going to kick you out of the room. But anything else besides that, I'm open to hearing. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Jenny.
Okay. I liked when you had the episode when you were in the car, but before then, there was a little bit of time when I heard Carolyn talking, and I thought that was a very fun, it sounded impromptu kind of beginning instead of the formal, because everybody does the formal beginning.
I don't.
Oh, except for Tom. But I liked having an I thought it was interesting. It made me listen. I was like, "Oh, what are they talking about?"
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And anything that you would recommend that I shouldn't do?
I love your show, so no, I don't know of anything.
Thanks.
I can't think of anything.
I would say don't be afraid of longer episodes, especially if you're interviewing somebody and having a really great conversation. Longer is okay because we can always stop the podcast and restart it when we're ready to listen again.
Yeah.
And then you can get deeper into stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Or
that.
like that one in 2 parts, like a part 1 interview and part 2, because you did that once, right?
I did. Yes.
Well, and you were concerned about that one where you were in the car, how long it was. Honestly, I didn't even notice how long it was, but I did, just like Teresa mentioned, I just paused it whenever I had to do something else and just turned it back on when I was wanting to listen.
I agree. I've heard so many people give their trailer pitch on like 5 or 6 different webinars. It's nice to hear when they have extra time to get into the depth, because the deep stuff, that's what's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
And then fact. When you get guilt trips.
Right. Yeah. With Excel TV, we thought it was going to be 20-minute episodes, and some have gone almost 2 hours. But the thing is, chopping them up later, and there's a body of work, and not worrying about some individual episode, right? Just thinking more about the long-term body that you develop.
Okay.
Yvonne wants to say,
there they
we all
unmuted.
did ADHD rewired. Imitate Eric. You got to do the
ADHD rewired.
Episode 50.
Episode 50.
All right.
You have to be there. Okay, so I'm in the hot seat, Yvonne. So I'm getting feedback from people regarding ways to improve the podcast.
Well, letting Tom in was a big mistake.
No, she doesn't listen to it unless I'm on it.
That's a big mistake.
Her podcast, his podcast.
All right, I'm meeting you guys again. I can't take you. Jeff, any ideas, suggestions?
So I like the evolution. So I'm fairly new. So I've been listening to them kind of in succession. So I'd probably be a little closer to it and see the changes that are coming. And I think you're doing a fabulous job. A lot of the additions you've made, the music that you're putting in the background, the transitions that you're making, that type of thing. My wife will listen in the mornings and laugh incessantly, saying, "Ha, that's you." So, I think if anything else, and I think you're doing this more and more, is getting outside folks who don't necessarily have are applicable to ADHD, but have good solutions for those of us that are. I think that's very helpful, and it kind of puts things in a real world perspective, because we still have to live in the real world. And there's lots of things out there to help us that aren't labeled ADHD. And I think that's really important that we recognize that and not get too hyper-focused, to use your term, on those things that are only ADHD.
So when you say get outside folks, what do you mean?
Well, folks that aren't necessarily in the purview of ADHD, okay. Folks that wouldn't even consider what they do or what they offer would be associated with ADHD, but we use it because it helps.
Okay, great. Thank you. Ryan, I think you were raising your hand.
A way to get listeners involved, maybe on some episodes do like a tip jar where like people send in tips and you just kind of draw them out like 1 or 2 tips. You could do it in between things to kind of break it up, just change it up, or at the end, like, hey, here are 3 additional tips, or put them in the show notes, and just something simple, just 1 or 2 lines people could just send in and say.
That's a cute idea. That could be an ongoing kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like that. Doug?
This is not something to change, something to keep. I was talking to a friend today about how we watch podcasts. We try to take notes. And I said, Eric has show notes. It's all there online. She was blown away by that. I don't know anyone else does that. And I think that's just fantastic.
I don't do that. I pay someone to do that for me.
You get credit stuff. It's your dollar, your credit. So
thank you.
That is awesome, though, because we're not note takers of renown, for sure. That's wonderful. Also, keep being authentic. Those are the 2 big things that you're doing great, and just keep doing them.
Thank you.
One thing that keeps coming up for me is making an ADHD distinction versus I'm just not interested, or I'm tired, or I'm fed up with something. Because I think some things can go sideways during the day, and then it could get an ADHD tag placed on it. And I think that's important because of questions about, does ADHD exist? And when I fell asleep in the movie theater, was I tired or was that ADHD? For me, at that moment, it was ADHD because I was stuck for 3 hours.
What I think you're saying is my Adderall's completely worn off at this point. So
hard.
So Oz, you're saying that you want me to talk about that separation between, is it ADHD, is it other stuff?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Because some discussions can start to sound like, I don't know if we're still talking about ADHD anymore, or somebody just is fed up with something. I don't know.
Was there something specific, a specific episode that made you think of that you can remember?
Well, no, not. I would have to go back and listen. But even like in some discussions, or just in general, I'm thinking.
Okay, all right. Anyone else? Diane
wants to say something.
I really liked your ADHD rediapered episode with your son. That was really hilarious. And I don't know if you could, it might get old listening to it over and over, but your little son is so adorable and his voice is so cute when he imitates you with the ADHD rewired. He says it just like you, but he's actually a little bit cuter when he says it than you are. Just saying. So, I don't know how you can incorporate that, but he's
have more of Gibson on.
Yes, you're Monkey and Gibson, and you're set.
I'm going to be out of a job then soon.
Unless Eric would be good.
Yes.
That's sad. You don't mean that.
Let's see. What other questions should I be asking?
Yvonne has her hand up.
Other superpowers.
What about Okay, go ahead, Yvonne.
I just wondered how much are you really delving into? A lot of us have comorbid conditions, and how that kind of plays in depression, bipolar,
really covered
autism,
a bunch of stuff on comorbidity.
Because a lot of people have to deal with medications for depression and medications for ADHD as well, and how that plays in, and sometimes it contradicts each other.
Oh gosh, yeah, I went through that.
And there's a lot of overlap where is it my bipolar today or is it my ADHD? And that sort of thing, and coping skills and dealing with mood disorders.
Is a spouse a comorbid condition?
For Yvonne?
Doug, I don't think I actually realized how funny you were until today.
If you'd asked me, I would have told you.
I think you're talking about the podcast.
What? I think Tom just whispered something in my ear. It was really weird.
I did nothing.
He's inside my head.
All right. Do you guys have an all-time favorite episode?
I like the Seeing the Time one.
The what's one?
Seeing My Time, Sklar, SSKY.
Yeah, Mary D. Sklar.
Yes. How she gave kind of applications and how-tos, and it wasn't just kind of vague references. It was specific, this is how you break this down. And, you gave me my steps. And I'm very much I have my list, I have my steps, and that kind of helps. That's why I like that one. I still have, I think, 20 more to get through.
I love episode 50.
Yes!
For a split second, I was like, which one is...
I like Oz, the episode with Oz.
Yeah.
Great episode, Oz.
Yeah, completely.
I was disappointed that you did not have your cowboy hat on during the interview when I saw the video. So I just went back to the audio and pretended that you were wearing the cowboy hat. I found it much. It's just because the picture you're wearing the cowboy hat, and I laughed really hard when you said, "Well," you were explaining. Eric asked you some general question. You go, "Well, I have a lot of hats," and I just lost it. I lost it. And I can't, when I had to leave the room to do whatever, I kept pausing it because I didn't want to miss any of it. That was my favorite episode.
Thanks. All right.
I'm going to, anyone else have a favorite episode? And then we are going to wrap this up.
I do.
Who said that?
Carolyn.
Carolyn.
I liked the one with you in the car.
Yeah.
Because it was very authentic, and I think it served a good normalizing for people. And look up to you, Eric, because you really do have a lot going on, and it was you having a moment that we all see in ourselves, and it just made it very, very real. And I really appreciated it.
Thanks,
I
Carolyn.
agree.
Okay, can I be that one? Can I be that one past guest that jokingly says my own episode?
No. Okay, so we're gonna call that a wrap.
Yeah, my episode is my favorite, 45.
Tom's episode, yeah.
Yeah, I liked mine. Separate bedrooms.
Separate bedrooms, yeah.
And look how happy they are.
Well, you don't think Yvonne's going to hang out up here, do you?
All right, so here's what we're going to do, guys. Here's what we're going to do. It's funny because Ellen just wrote, a little note to me saying I should wrap it up. And then I had the thought of, that's easy for me to do. My intro, I say starting's the hardest part. Finishing is a close second. So.
Like sex.
This took more than 90 seconds.
Again, thank you, Richard. Thank you.
So here's what I'm going to do, guys.
Just got the explicit rating.
Ready for the outro?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to do it right now.
It's going to take him 30 minutes.
Usually I use notes. Last time I didn't. I told myself I should use notes 6 times. But once again, I'm just going to go for it. Well, ADHD Rewired listeners, you have just listened to another episode, the 50th episode of ADHD Rewired. Thank you guys for being an amazing community, a great group of people, and for everyone who joined me for this episode of this live Zoom call. Thanks for an amazing experiment. It was a great experience. I hope that this all works out as part of the editing process, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you are not currently a member of the ADHD Rewired Facebook community group, go onto Facebook and find us. Make sure that when you submit your request that you don't find me in the other inbox. I have like 70 people who have not responded to my responses to them. I filter everybody that comes into this group. And do you guys think this is an awesome group, the Rewired community group?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, now be quiet. All right. Now, if you like this show and you want me to continue recording another 50 episodes, please go and leave a review on iTunes because it truly makes a huge difference. I am hoping by the time this is released, we're going to be at 200 reviews at iTunes, which just blows my mind. So thank you so much for listening. And I look forward to the next 50 episodes of ADHD Rewired. Until next time.